Okay, I believe it's recording now, at least according to the Zoom UI. Hello, hope you're doing well. No one has joined this call so far, but I am starting this for the folks who missed out on today and are watching this on YouTube. Hope you're doing well. It's Q here. And for this particular Zoom design code session, we're going to be doing something interesting with the experimental kind of theme JSON creator that I recently made for funsies, but maybe it's helping. Maybe it's helping some folks get accommodated to the new theme JSON kind of structure with Gutenberg. Maybe it can evolve into something um, a little bit more useful for theme developers, core developers. We'll see. But I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see this and hopefully my audio is working. I don't have any other ways of knowing other than praying that this works. So yeah, for today, I have some notes. For today, for the theme JSON creator, which I'm going to jump to right here. Yeah, so this is the theme JSON creator. We have some controls on the left-hand side and the output of JSON on the right-hand side. And if I fiddle with any of these switches, we can see that it changes. We can add color palettes, we can remove color palettes, we can add gradients, font sizes, and so on. It's quite Spartan at the moment. There aren't too many controls, and then how this is structured is kind of naive in that everything kind of goes into the global area. With theme JSON, I'm just switching over to the make post on wordpress.org. It goes a little bit more in depth in that you can customize things like core blocks and have custom settings and so on in here. I haven't built that into this theme JSON creator yet because this was just something I made in one afternoon and because I felt like, oh, this would be a fun idea. Just similar to what I'm doing now. One afternoon, just trying to do some fun things. Anywho, so this is the theme JSON creator, and I wanted to see if I can add some fun features to this today. Jumping over to my notes again. Yeah, so I think it'd be cool to add some sort of live preview. And by that, I can jump into this example. So this is Blockbook created by Riyadh, core member of the WordPress Gutenberg team. I worked a lot on Gutenberg. Shout outs to Riyadh here. So this is Blockbook. This is a kind of block preview kind of area with some developer helpfulness in terms of documentation, and it's a playground. It's a playground for some of the Gutenberg blocks. So what he has is some sort of preview for the Gutenberg blocks using either 2019 or 2020 the themes, and this is kind of cool. So it'd be cool to have some sort of live preview as we fiddle around with all these knobs. It would be cool to see how it reflects in some UI on the right hand side, very similar to the customizer, but kind of scoped to just this theme JSON creator thing. Yeah, so that'd be interesting. Let's see. Theme switching. Yes. So jumping over to Blockbook again. In addition, so now that we have a live preview, hopefully, it'd be cool if we can switch themes, maybe supporting 2020 and 2019 to start, to see how that influences the aesthetics of your blocks. Maybe we can do something where it's like, oh, you can add a URL for to load some custom CSS or something, and then they can apply your custom CSS theme. We will see. Typography scaling, that would be fun. Typography scaling, so maybe instead of having manual kind of input fields like this, we can have some sort of slider or some sort of registered sizes where you can play around with how you want your H1s to H6s to kind of register in terms of sizes. That might be fun. It's definitely a visual treat to be able to kind of do this versus fiddling with numbers. So that could be something we can explore today. And the last one, color tooling. Oh my goodness. This is an idea I had that was kind of inspired by some random thing I saw on YouTube. which I guess many good ideas are. So I'm going to share my iPad actually. So I'm going to jump over to my iPad, screen mirroring with, all right, so I got to enter in some code. Okay, hopefully you can see my iPad. Well, no, I was clicking on my iPad as if clicking on my desktop would do anything. So what you're seeing is Procreate. Procreate is a drawing application that I use a lot. It's lovely on the iPad. But there was one feature that I did not know existed until I saw this random video on YouTube. So within Procreate, what you can do is you can have custom color palettes, right? And what you're seeing on the right-hand side is a split screen of my photos. So here's a really cool thing. If I click and drag and plop a photo into palette, it does some magical thing with colors in that it finds the colors of that photo, and now I get a bunch of colors for that photo. So yeah, this is really, really cool. This is the clownfish. This is the good old clownfish or OG iPhone wallpaper. So yeah, my thought is, wouldn't it be cool to register a color palette by just clicking and dragging an image into the browser from like your desktop or something else? And then you just have a bunch of colors that you can play with and name and kind of do things with. So we will see. This is definitely on the experimental side, but it's fun. And I like doing wacky fun things. So let me just close my iPad for now. I think my screen sharing is done for that. Cool. Alrighty. One moment. I'm going to stop my share screen so I can check Slack because just to make sure nothing's exploding. By exploding, I mean, well, my concern right now is I don't even know if the Zoom thing is working because I'm the only one here. So I don't know if I'm getting kind of messages from the Slack to see if like, oh, maybe your Zoom link is broken. All right, now. Okay, so I don't think that's the case. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll go from there. I'm going to try my best to pay attention to the Zoom UI just in case someone joins and then they're in like a waiting room or something like that. I'm not too sure. Cool. So let us start coding some things. So as with most of my kind of Zoom design code along things, I don't really prep. This is all the prep I've done. I wrote a bullet point list of the things I want to try today. So you're going to be coming along this journey with me as I try things, and you will see me fumble and struggle in real time as I do when I try to code things. Yeah, so let's go. So right now I have my terminal open. I'm going to open the project within VS Code, which is what you have here. I'm going to blow up the text a little bit to make it easier to see when watching this video back. Cool. So I'm going to start the project. Is yarn start, and this thing is powered by Create React App, by the way. It was just the simplest thing I could fire up to code this one afternoon. And the UI is powered by G2 components. And if you're unfamiliar, you can go to g2components.wordpress.com, and there is an entire blog where I've been sharing ideas and updates and theory crafting ways that we can improve the component UI layer within Gutenberg. And this is using that experimental component project. So yeah, that's the UI that powers everything here. So right-hand side, what do we have? We have JSON, rendered JSON of all this data. Okay, so I'm going to poke around the code, and this is not the organization of this is probably not the best, but again, coded it super fast. So I'm going to find where it is my JSON code is outputted. It is, I believe, here, code preview. That's probably it, code preview. All right, what is code preview? I have no idea. Let's see. We have, okay, yeah. So this is definitely the JSON stuff, and I know just because some of this looks familiar to me. So what I want to do, the first change I want to do is I want to make this layout a little bit different. I want it to be split 50-50. And that just gives the live preview on the right-hand side a little bit more space to render things. So what we can do is everything you're seeing right here is where the two chunks at least is split between a grid component coming from G2. And that grid component is here. So it's using, underneath the hood is using CSS Grid plus some other fancy things, which can be manipulated using this templates column property here. So I want to do one FR, which splits, we'll get a 2-column grid with even sides for both. And instead of doing this, I think I can actually do this. Columns is 2. Let's double check. Yeah, columns is 2, and now I get a split, an even split. And oh man, this has been really, really wonderful. So for maybe about a week, I forced myself to learn some kind of tricky advanced TypeScript things so that I can TypeScript G2 components so that I get this lovely experience of, oh, what does this prop do? Oh, I can just check inline here without having to drill down into my source code and look at documentation. Because even though I built this thing, I had no idea. I can't remember all the properties and all the things something does. So I'm not smart enough. So this is helpful in that regard. Great. So we have a grid to split 1, 2. And before I adjust this theme.json thing, one thing I want to show that's pretty cool. So notice how the right-hand side is dark, right? We have a dark kind of UI, and the reason why I did that is because I thought it looked cool. So typically what you would do when you're building UI like this is, okay, you have a section that's kind of dark. You might write some CSS to, adjust it so that the background is no longer white. It's now some sort of dark gray. We have to change the text from black to white and so on. You'd write some styles to kind of scope it in that area and change things. The cool thing about G2 though, G2 components, is every component has dark mode built in. So all I really needed to do was I just needed to render this section in dark mode. And you can do that using what's called a theme provider from G2, the styles package. So I'm just bringing in a theme provider. And all I'm doing is I'm just saying, hey, everything that's rendered inside here, just make it dark. And that's why it's dark. So if I remove that, we can see that it's now in light mode and everything kind of looks like the left-hand side with the exception of a tinted kind of background. But I'm going to change that back to dark. Cool. So what kind of UI do we need for the right-hand side for the preview? I still want that theme.json thing. So maybe a tab kind of UI would work. So let's pretend theory crafting. So let's pretend, hopefully you can see my mouse. This is the right-hand side. Maybe the first tab is the preview, and maybe the second tab is the theme.json. We'll see. So we can do that by grabbing some components from G2. I think we need tabs. And I forget the API. What does that look like? Ah, cool. Oh man, this type inline documentation thing is great. So I need tabs, tab list, and panel. All right, tabs, tab list, tab, panel. Great. 4 components to create some tab things. So I have my code preview here. I don't even know what do I even call the things on the right-hand side. I'm terrible at naming things, so I'm just gonna literally write right-hand side content. That's fine. All right, so tabs. There's some thing I need to write tabs. Right, tabs, tab list. All right, so tab list is the thing that contains all the individual tabs that we'll see at the very top. So the first one, let's just call it preview. And the second one, let's call it theme.json, maybe. And then we have tab panels that we're going to add. So I'm just going to do this really quickly so that we can see. So right, oh, that's terrible. Right-hand side content is right there. I'm going to plop that in here and we'll remove code preview for now. I'll add it back in later. So cool. What we have is a gigantic thing. And this has to do with CSS Grid, by the way. I'm going to adjust that. So I'm going to just quickly wrap it in a view so that the height adjustments for CSS Grid applies to the view, not necessarily my right-hand side content. Great. So now I have a tab view. It looks like this. And for the JSON, I'm going to stick code preview back in there. Cool. So JSON code preview working fine. And no, sorry, JSON is a JSON spit out working fine. Copying should still work. And preview is our live preview area. Cool. So I think we're halfway done. kinda. So we need to actually render in some content now. So I am going to create a brand new component because this is getting a little bit messy. Live preview, import React from React, export const live preview is a component that does something if I can type. Yes, there we go, return. I'm just going to import some components from G2. I'm going to need a view from the G2 components. Okay. Hello. I think that's my default kind of placeholder text when I'm just rendering something. I just write the word hello. I've been told that was a very friendly thing to do, which I appreciate. So I'm going to keep doing that. Live preview from live preview. Great. So I'm going to render that instead of here. Instead of the word one, I'm just going to render live preview. And my code editor is taking some time to do things. Great. So yeah, I can see the word hello and I can see JSON here. Cool. And now I'm going to jump back into live preview, and this is the area that I can work with. So I need some content. Oh, I did do some prep. I was good. I copied, I generated some Gutenberg block content that I can I can render into the live preview area. It looks like this. And the tricky thing though with React is you can't necessarily render or copy and paste this content in directly because of JSX kind of HTML parsing reasons. So there's something I got to do. I think I have to store all this in a string. So HTML content, I'm just going to do this for now. Oh, that is awful. So I have my HTML content, and now I have to dangerously render HTML or something. Dangerously render set inner HTML. I always forget how to do this, and I always come here. Cool. Create markup. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. So create markup. And the reason why that's a good idea is I believe it's because it is actually, I don't know why that's a good idea. Oh, hello. Josefa, is that you? I can't tell. Zoom UI.
It is. It's me. It's me.
Hi. So no one joined my Zoom call, so I just kind of started 15 minutes ago talking to myself.
That's fine. That's good. That's good.
Okay,
Sometimes
so
when you're streaming, that's what you start with. So it's okay.
That's okay.
I won't understand anything, but I'm happy to be here as your rubber duck.
That would be amazing. So I'm gonna quickly kind of go over the ideas that I had. So apologies for those who are watching this after the fact on YouTube or something else. I'm gonna try to do this kind of quickly because Joseph is very friendly, and I would kind of like her to understand what the heck it is I'm doing. So can you see my screen okay?
I can, yes.
Great, that's a good sign because I've been streaming 15 minutes without knowing whether this thing worked or not. So today I'm going to try to add some experimental ideas and wacky ideas into this theme.json creator that I've made one afternoon. And this thing is basically a GUI that allows you to generate a JSON kind of data format here, which is what Gutenberg has started to use for its configurations and settings. And it's not feature complete. There's just enough here to kind of get you started. And again, this was something I made one afternoon because I had a wacky idea, similar to the wacky ideas I have now. And this is a bullet point list of some things I want to try to do today. One is to add a very simple kind of live preview on the right-hand side. The idea for that is as you're fiddling with some knobs, it'd be nice to kind of see what it is you're changing. The experience would be very similar to that of the customizer that we have in WordPress right now, but applying specifically to Gutenberg blocks within this context. So that would be fun. And theme switching, that's another idea that I had, and that was inspired by Blockbook by Riyadh. And he has a thing down here where you can see the generated blocks, but you can switch the themes between 2019 and 2020 to kind of see what they would look like. So I thought, yeah, it would be cool to kind of add that feature here, so we can manipulate some block settings and see how it applies within 2020 or 2019. We can also add a feature where it can accept some sort of like URL, so you can add your own CSS style sheet thing, and then we can see what your theme looks like within this this kind of JSON generator application. I don't know. We'll see. Another one is exploring typography scaling. So instead of manually adding numbers like this, which is hard, not hard, it's boring. It would be cool to have maybe have some sort of visual experience where we can have some preset numbers or maybe a slider that would automatically scale H1s to H6 headings for you.
I appreciate that you put them in tonal language.
Oh, I didn't make this, but yeah.
What? Who made this?
I don't know. Someone, Jeremy Church, made this.
Oh, good job, Jeremy Church. I see you being a musician.
Yeah, I appreciate it too.
Nice.
I'm terrible at music theory. When I learn guitar, I learn through tabs, so I understand music by numbers, not necessarily by C sharp diminished sevens somethings.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the last one, I thought was probably the wackiest idea out of all of them, but I think it's probably the coolest. And what I got to share my iPad to do this with a reflector. Yeah. So bear with me as I figure out iPad screen sharing. Okay, it's gonna ask me for some numbers. Typing in what. How you doing today, Josepha?
I'm good. I went and stopped by WordCamp Austin for a site tour, and I was like really surprised that that's a thing that you can do, and they have created an entire VR landscape for their event. Yeah, it's incredible. It semantically mirrors Gutenberg's code, but uses Mozilla hubs, and so yeah.
I gotta check that out. VR blows my mind. Anything with hardware blows my mind.
Yeah,
because I can only do software things. So like printers terrify me for some reason.
I'm super scared of printers. Well, there's an after party at 5, which I will be headed back for, and so that's
okay.
my recommended time. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
5 Central. Sorry.
Math. That's some time for me. I don't know.
I'll share you the real time for you.
Okay, cool. So can you see my iPad all right?
Yes, I can.
Cool. So there is one very neat feature within Procreate, which is what you're seeing on the right-hand side. Procreate is a drawing application that I use all the time to draw all of my cartoons for various reasons.
Nice.
And I learned this trick from a YouTube video that I saw randomly. So on the right-hand side is just the default iOS Photos app, which you can do split screen on the iPad, which is kind of neat. But what's cool is you can add a custom color palette. You could actually click and drag a photo into here, and it'll do some sort of color science math, and it'll figure out all the colors that's in there, and it'll give you a color palette based on the image you dragged in. So here, if I have,
amazing.
I know, right? So this is the OG iPhone clownfish wallpaper that I have because I love it. So yeah, so now we get something like that. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we can generate a color palette by you dragging an image into the browser? So that could be something we can explore. Maybe I'll just like prioritize this one because that's actually pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we'll be trying to do today. I'm going to move this up. Sorry, type scaling. This one's way more cool. I'm gonna exclamation marks there. Okay. So
I love it.
Yeah. So now we're into the code where I'm trying to fiddle with things. And the difference so far, the biggest difference is this is my local. This is what's published on the web somewhere. And I managed to add some tabs so that you can jump between the JSON and potentially a live preview. So now I need to add some content so that we can preview things. And that is roughly when you jumped onto the call. So now you're all caught up.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. So
now we're definitely in the area that I don't understand, but
that's okay. I am. So I've been told that I'm pretty good at humanizing this because I don't prep ahead of time at all, with the exception of today where I have bullet points. And you will see me stumble and fumble my way into trying to figure out how to mash code into things to build things. So,
Perfect.
yeah, so you'll feel my struggles and we'll both struggle and we'll have a great time. So I have some HTML content that I've pre-generated from Gutenberg, and I need to render and spit that into the browser somehow. So I'm going to try to do that now. And because we're using React, React has a funky kind of way to do that, and I always forget how to do that. So I just Google and jump to their docs to figure that out. And you have to dangerously set some HTML to do reasons. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that thing there, and hopefully this thing works, and now we have paragraphs and some things. No, something is mad at me. Why? Dangerous set in their HTML. Why are you mad?
I do not know.
I don't know either. Oh, wait. It's because of that reason. Okay. I think it's fine now. Great. So now I have content. Cool. I have HTML that's generated by Gutenberg, which in theory should be able to absorb theme CSS settings. So if I put in 2020 or 2019, it'll render it here. All right, so live preview is working. We can check this off. Somehow change this into like a checkbox thing. That's fine. Sometimes I really like the low fineness of this. The fancy tools are meh. Okay, now it's a checkbox. Cool. Theme switching, 2020 and 2019. I'm going to time box this guy because if I can't get this working, it's fine. I'd rather play around with colors. Let's see. So I'm going to dive into Riyadh's code. And he has...
Great place to start.
Yeah, and he has the theme CSS somewhere. I remember... Here's a good way to find out. 2020, 2020. Alrighty. Example, blog book, something. I'm going to time box this to 5 minutes. Oh, cool. I found them. Great.
Oh.
Time boxing is a wonderful technique I use all the time, mostly because I don't have patience for things, but it forces me to try to figure things out really fast. So I have 2020 theme. I'm going to copy that. And now I have to figure out how to stick it into here. The challenge is, this is a CSS challenge. I'm shaking my head. CSS, like, as it's a super powerful and simple language, but then it's also incredibly difficult to work with in a complex and large project like WordPress. And a lot of the problems that we have within Gutenberg's UI specifically is regarding CSS. And because Gutenberg CSS fights with like the theme CSS, and everyone's fighting and everyone's mad. So therefore, they have to write stronger, more complicated styles that continuously override each other, and everyone is madder, and that's bad. So the G2 Components project, one of the main things that it tried to address in its own kind of special way is to be able to render CSS that cannot be broken by external styles. And it will not break external styles either. It's the self-contained thing that's guaranteed to work out of the box, regardless of what environment you render it in. So
heck of a guarantee.
It is. It's 99% guarantee. Because of course, you can always write some rogue style that just breaks everything.
Yeah.
But 99% guarantee. So I need to inject 2020 into here somehow, but we'll notice some problems. So let me just create a new folder. I'll just call it styles. I'm just going to create a new file, 2020 CSS, plop it into here. Great. And I'm just going to load it. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I suspect everything will be 2020 is yellow, right? So I suspect everything will be yellow. Import, which is bad because we only want the yellow to appear here, not everywhere. So import code styles 20. Come on, 2020 CSS. I think that's it. Okay, this should work. No, I can't find things. Oh my goodness. It's because font some things. Great. So here we begin. It's mad because of font reasons. Something. Okay. I'm gonna manually delete that because we don't necessarily need that for our examples. So I gotta find it. URL / Okay, I'm gonna manually delete this. No one needs to know. It's our secret.
Except that you did
Oh,
it
okay,
on a
cool.
recorded video. So.
Yeah, it's the secret of everyone watching. So it applied successfully here, but it didn't. This one's not yellow. But the reason why this one's not yellow is because it's actually using a G2 component to render its background. G2 components go very, very low level or tiny. There is a component literally to just render a background. In this case, it's white. And the reason why something like that is important is because if we think about it, a background like a UI background like white, it can be used in multiple places. So cards, for example, sidebars, nav bars, and so on. And the other benefit of having something like that that is purely only job is to render a background is in the case of what you're seeing here on the right hand side, you notice how the background it's dark. And the reason why it's dark is that section, I told it to render in dark mode. So that's why the background's dark, the card is dark, the color of the text is white. And normally, without that kind of intelligence built into the low level components, what you would do is you'd actually have to write some custom CSS to override things to make that area dark for reasons, and then you hope no one touches it, which is fragile. And it happens all the time. And that's a pattern that I'm trying to break with these components. Again, 99% guarantee that this thing is going to work. So therefore, not only do these components need to be reliable, they need to be anti-fragile, which is part of the challenge, but then also part of the fun in building these things. Anywho, that's why this area is white. But we can see that there's a problem. This top area, which does not have a background, is not white. It's not respecting it's absorbing the styles from the global theme CSS, which is expected. That's kind of expected. So there's something that we can do. We can write some kind of weird CSS to only scope it within this area. We can add some of our styles so that this area at least is encapsulated and protected. Or this is probably the more desirable way to do things, is we're going to render the preview content within an iframe. And rendering content within the iframe is something that Ella from the Gutenberg team is actually actively trying to explore. And the main reason for that is that, again, it protects the editor from style fighting within versus theme versus WP admin and so on. So we can try this really quickly. React, and there is a lovely React frame component, something that I can download from the internet and I can just use. I'm going to just render content within an iframe. We're going to try that. How's my pace and everything? Is this okay?
I mean, yes, I'm following you. I wouldn't be able to do it, but I'm also not trying to do it. But Paul just got here, and so
hi.
I gave him what I think is what you're doing.
Okay, cool. That works. So yarn. So now I'm just downloading things from the internet. Oh, dang, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, so I'm just downloading this package from the internet that allows me to render things within an iframe because I don't want to write it. So that's how it works. So I gotta read the docs. How am I gonna do this? Frame. Okay, so frame is that, and then I gotta stick this into a frame, and hopefully it will render within the iframe. Hi, Paul. Cool. Hey. So now we have content rendering within the iframe, which is great, but we also see lots of other problems happening. And that is, well, it looks like the styles are going into the iframe, but it's actually not. And the reason is just because the iframe background is transparent by default. So somehow we have to figure out how to inject these styles into the iframe. So what we actually have to do is, I'm just going to do a little bit of trickery here. Export selected default, make this entire thing into a string. Export division. Okay, so this is not actually CSS code anymore. It is a gigantic, it's a gigantic string. 2020 theme styles from / styles 2023. I'm going to change this. 2020. Okay. 2020. Okay. And then now I got to get rid of this or else my entire application will break. Okay. So now it should look like nothing. No more 2020 and everything is kind of restored. The entire style sheet of 2020 lives inside of here. This string, at least I think that's what it's doing. So I'm just going to console log it, which is my favorite way of debugging things. And I should see a gigantic style sheet spit out of 2020. Now I need to inject this thing into the iframe somehow, which I think I can do using this technique. I got to dangerously render inner HTML because of reasons. I'm going to copy this actually. HTML here. And then what I call it, HTML content. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, but to dangerously inject in HTML because that's what React wants you to do. But I'm going to give it 2020 styles, and if that works, we'll see 2020 theme styles loaded into here, which it does. Cool. So now we have 2020 isolated within just a preview area, which renders in an iframe. Therefore, the styles don't bleed out, and our styles don't bleed in, and everybody's happy. That's the most important thing. Everybody's happy. Now I just need to adjust the iframe a little bit so that it resizes into this area. Because right now it's not behaving nicely at all. So now I need to fiddle with some CSS things to figure out how to resize it. Width is 100%, maybe height is 100%. No, I don't know. Display block, maybe. This is where the struggles happen. Why is it not behaving like how I think it should? Okay. Oh, this one is because that is tiny. So this height actually, height. Time boxing this to 1 minute. If I can't figure it out, I'll just write some hack to make this work. Height is 100%. There, okay, there we go. So I did it. Okay, so I just need to add some 100%ings, which is just a way to force the dimensions to kind of adapt to the kind of parent dimensions, which are this box on the outside. I'm going to take off the border. So I think I just do border none. I may be wrong. I am wrong. So I'm just going to do border none here. Hopefully this is correct. If not, then I give up. Yeah,
Fingers crossed, or we're done here.
Yeah, that worked. So now I need to make that other guy taller. Panel, I believe. Style height is 100%. And then now we have live preview working, scrollable, switching back to JSON, switching back to here. Great. So this works. That's fun. So now let's try adding 2019. And if I can get 2019 done, that means this is done, and then we can explore some fun color tooling, which I'm kind of looking forward to. But then also, I know how hard it is, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So again, I'm going to copy 2019 styles and inject it like this, 19.js, export default, the giant string, paste it into here. And I don't know if things are going to break. We'll see. 2019 theme style, 2019. So I'm just going to change the theme from 2020 to 2019 by doing that. And if all goes well, nothing breaks and everyone's happy. Nope, that is the live one. Nope. Things are unhappy. Why are things unhappy? This always happens. Why are things unhappy? 2019 is because I probably spelled something wrong. Oh, okay. The exporting of default is, oh, this character thing, it doesn't know what that is. I don't know. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? I don't know why it's mad. 2019. Oh, it's because I spelled something wrong. That makes sense.
As predicted.
Yeah. There's something in there that it does not like for some reason. Let me get rid of that. parsing error, something parsing. Why is it so mad? If this doesn't work, then I give up in 2019. Interesting. Why are you so mad? Okay, I'm just gonna try something now. Background red. Oh, right. So there's something within 2019 that's not happy. And this is not saying anything's wrong with 2019. What I'm doing right now is very, very hacky, and you should never do this. But let me just try doing that. See what happens. Why is it so mad? It's the only game. Why are you mad? Okay, well, I'm going to give up in 2019. Hope that's okay. I probably will do it kind of offline to kind of figure it out. But for now, I'm going to give up in 2019. 2020 is there. I'm going to restore those styles, inject it into here. Okay, so now we should see our content rendered with 2020, our block content, our live preview. I'm going to mark that done. Well, just because it's a live preview, I feel like I should probably hook up some of this stuff on the left-hand side to fiddle with the right-hand side. That's one thing I didn't do yet. So what is something that I can change? Right now, I guess it's just a text size, maybe, that we can see. Is there, I'm just going to jump to the theme guy here. What is it that I need? Root, maybe? I don't know. Theme.json stuff. This thing is new. Core paragraph. Paragraph. I'm just going to see if I can change the paragraph size for now to see if it actually does anything. And once that does something, then maybe I'll apply it to the headers, and then I can move on to some fun color stuff. Okay, paragraph. It's not using global styles at all. So I have to write. That's bad. That's not bad. It's just I don't really have something to target. I'll figure it out. So let's see. I need to hook up some new controls to be able to update paragraph sizes and things. Let's see. Jumping into my code. Where is it? I need to organize this thing a little bit better. Again, it was just a fun thing I made one afternoon. It is under typography tools, typography panel. There it is. Font size control. That's where I put things. Font size control. Here is my font size control. You don't need to necessarily know what's going on. I'm just trying to find things at the moment. Font size list. Okay. Font size list. Font size list. All right. So right now what it's doing is that it's looping through all of our font sizes and rendering controls accordingly. So right now we don't have any font sizes. We can, under typography, I'm going to add some new styles, new theme.json settings so that we have something to play with. And the theme.json settings lives inside of our data store. Data store is just a fancy way of me saying this is where all the data lives. Data lives here. So I need to add global core paragraph something. Yeah, let's add that. Let's copy and paste that into here. Global. Whoops. Okay. So if I look at my theme.json, it is it is nowhere to be seen, and I don't know why. Yeah, why is that? Oh, I think I know why. No, I don't. Why is that? Let's see. As I mentioned earlier, Josefa, the struggle is real. I don't know anything that's going on right now. I'm just figuring things out and making stuff up as I go along. Code preview, live preview, code preview. That's where the JSON guy lives. That's where Jason lives. Code preview. It's right here. Okay, so it's using this. It's using the config from the store, which is what I expect. So why is the config not grabbing my all-important paragraph settings? Use config. Hmm. I don't know. Time boxing, 10 minutes. If I can't figure this out, I'm jumping to colors. Okay, store, live preview. Nope, I don't need live preview anymore. I need the application. Code preview, is it here? No, it's not. Where the heck did I put it? Code preview. Layout, code preview. There it is. It's under layout. Okay. So it's using, I'm just going to console log this. Console log config just to see what I get. Debugging code things. Okay. So, I mean, I'm getting the other data. Why can't I get the paragraph data? Don't tell me it's because of the slash. That'd be a bummer. It's because of the slash? No way. Reset. Oh, I think I know why. Okay. Never mind. So, yeah, there we go. So the reason why that was breaking is because for my initial attempt of making this whole theme.json thing shareable is anytime you fiddle with one of these knobs, you see the URL get gigantic. That's just because all of this data is being encoded or smooshed down into here. That way you can copy and paste this URL and therefore you can share your config with another person. I got to improve this mechanic a little bit just because as this grows, this becomes super unscalable. So we're going to ignore that for now. And to make this a little bit easier, I'm actually going to disable that feature. And all I got to do is just pluck out this sync feature I wrote, and now that's fine. We have great. So now we have the core paragraph styles. We're getting back on track. We can see it here. Hopefully we see it in the JSON. Great. So now all I got to do is render some sort of control for this, and then we can fiddle with whatever this thing is here. And that would live inside of something. Something. Let me see. Take a step back. Typically, you would have some design to work off of, and then you just kind of like, oh, this is the thing I need to code. But even if I had the luxury of time, that's kind of not how I work. I either scribble it on a napkin and just like, oh, okay, I'll just build this now. Or I'll just do exactly what you're seeing here and just making things up as I go along. Okay, we need typography panel. I am going to add a brand new panel. I'm just going to call it just for core paragraph panel, just to keep this thing short. Core paragraph. These are now ways that you can adjust the core paragraph settings. Cool. I'm going to add that into here. And now we should see core paragraph appear down here. We do, but all these knobs are incorrect because right now is using the typography ones. So we don't want that. We want the core paragraph ones. So I'm going to adjust to that. Core paragraph. I need to adjust font size. Yeah, that sounds about right. It needs to. So I need to figure out what kind of field to give it. So if I take a look at this data here, it's not necessarily a number. This could be a custom variable or something. It could be some arbitrary like 16 EM or whatever it is you want to put. So I can't force it to be a number. So I'm just going to make it a text field to make it easier. And I can figure out how to do that by, I built some controls somewhere. Controls. Let's see. Form control that renders some things, and then I render my text something. Text control, use text input. Okay. Almost there. I promise. Okay. Okay. I need to just go to, I don't have paragraph controls. That's fine. Import text input, I believe, and form control from all of the components that I've made locally here, which I think are under controls. So now I need to just render it out. I just need to render it out here. Okay, form control, text input, and it does things. I think. I may be wrong. This could break. Let's see. Font size. So
I have to step out for
that's
another
okay.
meeting, but this has been so interesting, and I sent the
I
link
hope so.
to some folks who would be
Yeah,
interested, and they asked for a recording of it when you're done. So I hope it's
wonderful.
recorded publicly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's recording on Zoom, then I'll upload it to YouTube.
You're so smart. All right. I'll see y'all later.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Josephine.
Okay, so so I have some text field here. I can enter in some content, which is great, but nothing is being reflected here because I haven't connected them yet. But it's good that I'm able to at least render this. I want to maybe adjust the size a little bit here. So we'll see how we do that. I believe template. Okay. Template columns is, I'll explain what this is in 1 second. Okay, I just need to make sure this works first. Yeah, that's fine for now. Let's just make it 50-50. So template columns, what you're seeing here is underneath the hood is actually using a G2 component, which is grid. It's using a grid component, which exposes certain properties that allows you to manipulate the grid. And the reason why this, at least for controls, like we're just seeing a simple kind of like label plus input or something like that, why this is really, really important to have your code work like this is because it standardizes how controls are laid out. The problem we have with Gutenberg right now is that there is no standard way. Therefore, anytime you need to align an input next to some text or you need to have custom sizes, you basically have to write custom CSS for reasons for that one instance, which over time you can see leads to a lot of inconsistency with the code. So one way that you can fix that, of course, is to comb through the entire code base and fix all the numbers from, say, 50 pixels to 100 pixels. So therefore, you've kind of standardized it now that everything looks like it's the same thing. But in explaining this, you can understand how brittle that is. Like, it should just be something that is built in. It works out of the box like default. Or if you want to customize it, you can do so in a very kind of structured way, which is what we have here with the form control. Cool. So now I have a 50-50 split between my label and my text, and I just need to bind it. How do I bind it? I forget. I don't know how to do that right now. I'm going to figure that out. So you pass in some props, and the props does things. Searchable item. Oh, right. That's what that does. And this one, text input, it finds something. Switch. How do I get things? Prop, get the value. Something happens, and then I can get the value for something. Type. Okay. All I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to connect this guy to this data, and I forgot how I did it. So that's what I'm trying to figure that. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Font item, and this item does something. Use config prop. Oh, I see. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to jump over to here. I'm just going to create a brand new component to make it a little bit easier for me to work with. Core paragraph font size control. And this is something I'll clean up later, but I just want to kind of get this quickly so I can move on to some fun things. Okay. And what's cool about all this, well, at least what G2 Components affords me to do is that even though I'm writing really hacky, not hacky, but speedy code, it's not kind of all over the place. We have some sort of structure because of all that UI complexity has been abstracted into the component UI layer. Okay, so now I just need to give it a path to find that particular piece of data, and I believe it is core paragraph styles typography font size. Okay, core paragraph dot typography dot styles dot font size. So now I pass that in. Now I can get the font size value, I think. And then I'm just going to console log my changes. And then I'm going to render that in there. So now this should not be mad at me. I am going to type stuff and nothing is happening. Why is nothing happening? I don't know. Unchange. Oh, I think, yeah, it applies a change once I press enter or I blur it, which is the desired effect. But something that is missing though is I'm not getting my font size. And I think I might know why. We'll see. Right, I'm not getting a font size. And I think it's because this use config prop guy here, it's probably trying to find it from an area that is not correct. Maybe. Or it doesn't understand slashes, because we do have a slash here. Just for the sake of debugging, I'm just going to get rid of the slash and see what happens. Slashes, by the way, are really fiddly because that's like a code escape kind of thing. So sometimes it might not work for reasons because of that. Oh, maybe that's not the case. Maybe I have a typo, which is probably more likely. Oh, it is because I had a typo. Typography, font size. Okay, I'm gonna add the slash back in. There we go. Okay, okay. Core paragraph. Oh, double typography. That's interesting. Right, because there's a typography here and here. That's interesting. Okay, so now in theory, I should still not getting my property. Why is that? I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna double check to make sure my thing is correct. Okay, core paragraph typography. No, it's styles. Oh, geez, I should really, okay. Styles.typography.font size. Third time charm. We'll try this again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This doesn't work, I give up. Nope, it works. It's great. So it's bound. So in theory, if I were to change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a giant font size. That, then we can see it right here, 14px. So now I need to update that in the store, in the data area. And I think all I got to do is pass it this update function. I may be wrong. For me to double check, I am going to find it here. Oops, cancel. Update slug, update value. And that is the next. I got to update the prop and the value. Ah, okay. I think I know what to do. Const handle on change. This one is the next. Next will be whatever it is I type in here. So in this case, 14px. And I need to pass it something. I need to pass it the property to update, in this case, this guy. And then I need to pass it the next value, like so. And then I'm going to force that into here. So now when I press on, or when an on change event happens, like when something changes, hopefully it'll call the update the update function, which will update our store. I don't know if this will work right. We will see. Okay, config.key. Yeah, in theory, that should work. In theory. Okay, 14px. There we go. So now we can see that works, right? 20 EM, whatever. Great. So now that it's bound to the store, now I can, in my preview, I can somehow absorb this information, paragraph, styles, typography, whatever, and apply it to the styles that render within the preview, right? Now I just need to pluck that data from the store somehow and render it there. So now in my live preview, I am going to, nope, one level up. /store, I need, what do I need? Okay. So I don't know, core paragraph font size is great. It's this nonsense thing again. This gigantic thing. By the way, this seems quite complicated what I'm doing, but this is a kind of exactly like how it
can see
would
that.
work inside of
That's-
Gutenberg, because in Gutenberg,
Right.
the data lives somewhere in the WP data store. And for performance reasons, like individual parts of the UI will need to access that store in some way. Within the Gutenberg code, they have hooks called like use select or something like that, where you would like pluck out certain bits of data and then pass it down. And the principle of doing that is exactly like what I'm doing here. And that's kind of needed when your application is complex or large. Normally, when you see React kind of examples online, they're very, very simple. So you don't really need to do this. But for things like Gutenberg, we do. So this kind of follows the same kind of data design principle. Okay, I'm just going to log this out to make sure I have it, which I do. We see it right here. And now I just need to inject that style somehow into here so that it knows how to render. In preview styles, sure, let's call it that. Preview styles, it is a string. And I'm just going to force all my paragraphs to have a font size of this. So now I just very similar to what I did before. I'm going to render those preview styles into here. So in theory, if I were to change this, say, that would be of interest, 200 px, there we go. So the binding worked, right? Anytime I make a change here, a desired change like 12, it now updates here. Great, so we had that working. I think I'm gonna just leave that alone. Like core paragraph works, right? So in theory, H1, H2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that will work as well. That's fine. So I can continue binding these things up, which will be kind of manual and maybe a little bit boring for me to watch. Or I can explore some other interesting ideas I want to add in. Pal, you didn't get to see this demonstration, so I'm going to do it really quickly for you. Okay. So the idea I had, this is going to be really fun. So reflector. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my iPad screen, because this idea was inspired by a particular iPad application. Okay, bear with me as I try to share my iPad screen. Okay, 4, 2, 6, 7. Okay, so what you're seeing right here, oh, whoops, nope, I'm gonna interact with my iPad. So what you're seeing right here is an application called Procreate, which is a drawing application. And it has one very, very nifty feature when it comes to palettes. So what you can actually do, on the right-hand side is a multitasking iPad thing with just the Photos application. Here are all my wallpapers. What you can actually do is you can actually click and drag a photo into here. And when you drop it, it'll parse the colors that are there and automatically generate a palette for you based on the photo. So if I click and drag this OG iPhone clownfish wallpaper, which is awesome, we can see that the oranges, the reds, the yellows, and all that stuff is there. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you can click and drag an image into the browser, into this theme creator thing, and all of a sudden you have colors for your palette? That'd be fun.
Cool.
So that seems like an interesting thing that we can try. So let's do that. And there is a library that Gutenberg uses that does something with color. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, so I'm going to look it up real fast. George actually helped me out with this one. Where did it go? I don't know. It's huge. Fast average color, maybe? Fast average color. If I remember this, then that'd be great. Yeah, that's what it was. But the tricky thing with fast average color is that it gives you one color. Can I get color from array? Get color async. I wonder if you can get like multiple colors. If you can, that'd be cool. That's one color. If this doesn't work, then there is another library that we can try that I've used before that does work. Get color async, get color from array store. gradient as stripe. I'm just looking at random examples to see if I can find anything. What does this mean? What does this do? What are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that you're fast? Probably. Okay. Right. So this one's able to pluck out at least 4 colors, I think. So that means this you can somehow pluck out multiple colors. Yeah. So here we have multiple colors here. So I need to figure out how they did that. Docs? Examples? Maybe. Looking at trying to find libraries and like trying to figure out how it is they do things so that you can use it. It's annoying sometimes. Wait, how is this even deployed? Fast average color GitHub examples gallery. What? Where is it? Is there a website or something? Fast. Here we go. Node.js. The heck? What was the example with all the multiple colors? Gradient stripes. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Gradient stripes. Gradient stripes. How did you get gradient stripes? Okay, SRC, gradient stripes. Okay, gradient stripes. My guess is that should be something simple. You feed it an image and then all of a sudden it can pluck out colors. Okay, so AC, fast average color, right? So how are you using AC? AC get color for every single item. What the heck? For every single item, which I'm guessing is one of these. This is an item, probably. And now it somehow renders this gigantic spread of colors. I gotta figure out how they did that. Okay, gradient to bottom color, and if it's bottom, then I got a plus RGB something something. What? What? Gradient stripe. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Gradient stripes. Get gradient. Probably here. Get image. Top. Parts. Push. Color RGB something something. You know what? I think we'll probably figure this out once I try to use that library. So let's just see.
So the purpose is of dragging an image and just kind of pulling out the various colors and using that as a gradient or something like that in Gutenberg then?
Well, we could use it as a gradient, or we can, like, if we have color palettes, right? So
right.
like
and just
those
putting
colors
in
can
color
hydrate
palettes.
into here, and now you have a color palette.
Right.
We can add an extra step maybe, so we can present all those colors in like a modal, and then you click and pick what colors you want, and that gets plopped into here. We'll see.
Right.
But step one is to get some sort of magical way to pluck out colors from a picture, which is, at the moment it's not difficult.
Oh, it's a very interesting concept.
Yeah. Like anything we can do to make the editor more organic in that way would be cool. I think this space, which this theme.json Creator, I feel like we could absorb some of those interactions into the editor. This is sort of like a playground for us to test those things, because what this is like, this is basically global styles. Like the settings and the tools and the like inputs that would go into global styles, but kind of presented outside as an external tool. But ultimately, they kind of should be the same. So if I can somehow figure some things out here, we can bring that into global styles experience, which would be fun. Yeah, so that's my thinking, at least. Let's see if I can grab this guy now. I'm going to install it from the internet, because the internet's cool. Fast average color, and the version is 6 something. Great. Now I'm going to install that from the internet. Yarn install, and I should be able to have it. I've built drag and drop plop thingies before for pictures. I'm going to time box that one. If that doesn't work, I'll just put a simple input field and then it'll grab a picture from that. Just because I feel like doing the color parsing thing is a little bit more interesting. So where am I going to put it? I'm just going to stick it right at the very top, just so that we have something. Okay, input import. How do I import this guy? Examples, install. No, this is, there we go. Fast average color. Okay, import, there we go. Fast average FAC. FAC gets the image somehow, and then you do something with it. Okay. Okay, I think I get it. Okay, where is it at the very top? It is here. So I'm just gonna add a view, or sorry, text that says hi. So now we have an area for me to work with, which is the text that says hi. And the text that says hi is right there. So I'm just going to put a image because it seems like it needs an image src. And I'm just going to grab a picture from Picsum, I think, which is the go-to kind of lorem ipsum thing I use, but for pictures. This one, maybe. I don't know.
Never heard of it. Cool.
Right here. So now I should get that picture of the dog. There we go. And what's cool about Picsum is that this is the ID of the picture. They have like a bunch of different pictures that you can use. So let's say, I don't know, 100, we'll get the picture 100 like that. And these are also sizes. So I can change it to like 600 and 300. And now I get a wider picture like that. So it's pretty cool. Very good for prototyping. So I have a picture. And now I need to, extract the colors from that picture. So I'm just going to create a new guy. Fancy color extractor thing. Let's make this happen, y'all. It's a wonderful name for a component. It's very unique, one of a kind. You'll never have naming conflicts, I guarantee it. Copy. No, I'm going to cut this picture, return, put that into here, put that guy into here. So all I did was I just moved the picture into this dedicated component, which you see here. And now I'm just going to bring up my console because now we're actually going to try to use this fast average color thing. So how do I use it? I need to get async color something. Okay, I think I get it. So we have a image ref. So I need to get the HTML somehow. So I'm going to do that now. React, use ref. Ref, put that into here. The reference of that guy will now be bound to that. I'm going to now tap into it whenever React does its initial render, which is now. So now I'm able to FAC. Oh, cool. They have autocomplete. Nice. That's very helpful. Image ref dot current. So now it's passing the image in, and then you can do something with it. So I'm going to do then color, console log color. So in theory, once I reload, great, I can see some colors, or a color. It's black for some reason. Why is it black? I don't know. Let me try a different picture. What is this picture? What is there's no way this one can be black. ID is 10. Okay. ID is 10. Oh, I think I know why. It's because it's firing before the image is loaded. Does that make sense? We can see that right now it fired, but the image hasn't loaded yet, and therefore it doesn't know how to get pictured properly. That's my guess. Or this is complaining because of, oh no, because of this. Content security, cross-origin something. Workaround. I will download the picture so that it's the same origin and then security things are happy. Save picture. How do I save? What is this? Forest, trees and water. Trees and water. It's a good name for a picture. Okay. So, man, the content origin stuff, I get it. It's security is great. Just for prototyping things, it's a little cumbersome sometimes. All right, so I have the picture. import trees and water image from dot slash images trees and water dot JPEG. Something is wrong here, I think. Maybe? I don't know. So now the SRC is my trees and water guy, I think. Right, so that worked. And we have a hex code. The image is gigantic. I'm gonna style. Oh no, I'm gonna use the image component from G2, which automatically knows how to size itself. Let's do that. That's helpful. Hopefully that works. Yeah, so now it doesn't break. Okay, so this, I don't know how to read hex, but I'm guessing it's some shade of green, blue. But that's one color. How do I get multiple colors? That is the question. Okay, so this works. Fine, great. Now I need to figure out how to get multiple colors. Let me just jump back to their
you got
example.
one color in there somewhere?
So right now it's just one color. And that one color is that, or that, any one of these. It's just one color. I want 10 colors, or whatever this thing is. There's more than one color in here. So therefore, it has to somehow pluck out multiple colors. Gradient stripe. All right, how did you do this? Natural height of the image, count. Oh, count? Count. For every... Oh, I think I know how this one did it. Interesting. Interesting. So this is my guess as to how this library did it. I'm going to jump to a picture. So I think what it's doing is that it's actually splitting the image in 10 chunks. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. And then it scans each of the 10 chunks to get like the dominant color for that chunk. And that's how I was able to get a gradient of 10, because that's what this looping thing is doing. So I can try that. Get color image. What's interesting though is that it's doing it in a, it's not get color. Huh. It's not doing it in an async way. So const color, maybe? So right now I'm just going to start trying to mimic that logic. I get it. I get the chunking thing. I think that's how things try to detect color within images anyway. It's black. Why is it black? I think the image has to load first. So what I'm going to do instead of doing this is going to do on load, handle on load. And this is const handle on load is a function that does something. Event. So now it'll only fire once it's loaded. Target, maybe? No, something's wrong. Something doesn't like me. Okay. Yeah, so now it has the image. Great. So now I can event target color is there. So there is another library that we can try, and that's something I've used before. Yeah, so now that works. It only fires on load. Great. I'm just going to do a really quick Google. Let's see. Get, I think it was called Color Thief. Grab a palette.
I think I'll just stick around for another 10 minutes, and then I'm heading out as well.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I am fine just streaming and talking to myself. Let's see. Yeah, so this one basically does that. It's able to grab a palette from this guy. And this is something I tried using before, but I can't remember why. Oh, I remember why. There was some library in here that was incompatible with Gutenberg licensing something. So if I do use this, I won't be able to go inside of Gutenberg, but that's okay. We're just going to try it for the sake of this particular experimental JSON creator thing that I made. So I'm going to try using Color Thief instead. We will see if that works out better. Because right now, I mean, this thing does work. It's able to pluck a single color, but I want multiple colors. Okay. Save that there. Download from the internet. Download internet. And then we will see how on earth I'm even supposed to use this thing. Demo. Color thief is new color thief. And then you get color from image. That seems straightforward. Or get palette from image. That's the one. That's the one. I remember this. Okay, so I'm sighing just because I don't really know how to use it off the top of my head. Because this is a tricky thing with these npm packages. Color thief from color thief. What do I get? Modules. I get what? What is this? Get palette. Get palette is that guy. Is the picture, and picture you get a promise. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to actually import this thing. I did it once upon a time ago, but it's been a while. Resolve dist color thief, and then you do color thief, get image. Okay, cool. So that's color thief, and now I'm gonna get color thief to get my picture.
I'm gonna head out.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
So I'm gonna get color thief, and then we're gonna get palette, and the get palette of a event target, get target. So now I have something. I'm gonna tell it to get 5. And I'm guessing this is a promise. Then console log. I don't know. I think this is it. Okay. Bang. No, that doesn't work. Get palette's not a function. Of course it's a function. Why would it not be a function? Console log color thief. That's a function? What? Oh, these node module things. That's yeah, I don't know why that's a function. Okay. Guess. Maybe I gotta do that. So now I have an instance of the color thief guy. And with this, I get, there we go. So yeah, I need const color thief is a new color thief class. And now I have a class instance guy, and then the class instance guy will now do the thing I needed to do, which is get palette from that, and then it will do things. Whoops. It will now console log 5 colors, which it doesn't do. Oh my goodness. Really? Console log color thief dot get palette. That's a function, I swear. Right? That's a no. Then is not a function. What? What? Console const color maybe. Does it just return it? Be kind of strange if it did. Oh, there we go. So the reason why I said it's kind of strange is because I think normally this stuff happens in an async way. This one didn't. But I guess I'm not complaining because I have my colors. So I have 5 colors. Let's say I want to get 10 colors. So now I have 10 colors. Great. So this is the RGB. I need to map those to hex codes. So within G2, there is actually a kind of color styles kind of thing. G2 styles. Okay. Right about here. So within G2, there is a lovely little utility, I guess, utility guy that a collection of utility functions that kind of effectively work like mixins and functions within Sass, but is made available within JavaScript, and it's fine-tuned so that the properties that you would get are supported by the system and are kind of like preferred ways of doing things within the system. So one of the things that's included is color, and color actually uses tiny color 2 underneath the hood. And color I am able to actually get color data by giving it like a hex code, and it now knows how to, it understands what kind of color it is, and it does fancy things for colors. Anywho, so now this color, okay, I'm gonna change this one to color palette. This is now a color palette of 10 colors. So if I, in theory, if I do color palette, whoops, palette dot map, yeah, let's make it a map. Data, console log, my data. What I'm expecting now is I am expecting a log of 10 arrays, right? This is the RGB. So now what I can do is const console log UI color. I'm going to pluck out the data from here. RGB is from the data. And now I'm going to pass this in, RGB. And in theory, this should now give me a 2 hex string. That should now give me a color. Bang. So these are all my colors. So const, I'm going to call this raw color. No, color palette data. So now my color palette is my color data palette mapped to now I get this. And so therefore I can do something with this color palette now, which is cool. Here's what I'm going to try to do. I am going to try to update the palettes with my image. So therefore, I think if this works, we'll see like greens and blues and whatever appear right here. Fingers crossed. How do I do this? How do I do this? I need to, oh, great. I need to get something from the store again. I'm going to visit the store to get things from the store. I need the property of, there is the color palette, and then there is update. So I think I have a component here for the color palette. Yeah. So use palette and use palette. I get that and that. I get, here we go. Use prop, color palette. Color. It's an array. So I think what it's doing is it's plucking an individual item from that array. What I actually need is not the item, but rather the entire array itself. So I think I can probably get it like this. And now I have the color palette. So I'm going to console log that, console log, so I can figure that out. Color palette. Okay, so what I'm expecting is I'm expecting to see an empty array, which I get. Cool, right here. There's a layout, there's a log somewhere. I gotta get rid of that. Cool. Empty array, because we don't have any colors here. I think if I add colors, yeah. So now we can see that if I'm adding colors, that the colors are appearing there. Cool. So that's working. That binding is working. I'm able to correctly pluck out something. Now I actually need the update function. This is what I need to update. So const prop is this, so I can reuse it. Prop is there. Okay. Okay, so now I have my new color palette. Next, I'm just going to call that next. I like using the term next to represent the next value to add into something. It's just a nice kind of catch-all thing that's kind of easy to understand when you read the code. So I'm going to update the property, which is this guy here, and I need to send it an array, which is this. However, the data that we have here is not just a color. There's a slug. I think this one's going to be a little bit tricky. So I can give it just, I can give it maybe just like a placeholder name. We'll see. Slug is palette index. Okay, so now I'm going to return the data shape of slug and color. I'm going to pass it as a value. Fingers crossed. Let's hope this works. There we go. So now with this image, I can, that's fun. I can, we have a color palette. Yeah, from the image. Great. So now I need some way for you to drag and drop somewhere to hydrate, to do that color parsing thingy and hydrate and figure out where the colors that render into here. Oh, this is so cool. I just want to see it again. Reload. Yeah, that's so fun. Is there a simple kind of like React drop zone component that I can grab? Dropzone.js. You have a demo? What? Really? Oh, there we go. Drag and drop something into this area. I'm just trying to think of where I want to put this control now, because I don't necessarily want the entire drop zone to be like that. Do I? So let me just get rid of all these colors here so we can see. Because right now it looks like this, right? So my hesitation is, if I put a drop zone, like the box like here, then maybe I wouldn't really be able to interact with this. I want to interact with this, but if I happen to be dragging a picture or something into that area, then the drop zone kind of appears. So is there a way for me to like inner content? Never inner drop zone, outer drop zone without event somethings, keyboard. Whoa. No drag events, drags. Style drop zone. Yeah. Yeah, this is the problem. How do I add the control? Maybe when you click plus, there is at the very top something that's like, oh, add an image here, and that's when it will do that kind of fancy thing. I'm just for this. I'm just going to do that for now because I can't figure out the design of where to put this thing. So this fancy color extractor, let's make things happen, y'all. That guy is working, which is good. So I'm gonna pluck this out. I don't need that anymore, I don't think, because all the logic is kind of in here. That's all I really need. I don't necessarily need this picture either. Just gonna return null. And I'm going to move this now. I'm going to move this into my palette control, because that's where we need the guy. We need our little friends over here, maybe. It's close to the list. The list is all the entries we have here. Bang, 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 bang. And we want just to make it easier to find, I'll just have it kind of right above it. Don't need that anymore. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Color thief. I need you. I need color thief. Palette control. Color thief. Okay. So right after you hit plus, you will see one item. So I will do something like, I'll just create a new guy. Const. What do I even call this? Fancy auto color palette from image. Again, wonderful name. Not really. For now, it's just going to return a An input field, type file. I think I can do that. I think that's it. And then I will render it inside of here. So what I actually need is I need this guy to render there if there is at least one item, because by default, if there's nothing, we don't want it there. But once you hit plus, you get your initial color palette. That's when you can see the control. So let's do that. So const should show auto color palette from image control. Terrible name. Palette. Wait. Palette length is if there's a length to it, and that's all I need. Okay, so if that, then this. Okay. So now I don't see anything. If I hit plus, then we see this file chooser guy. Yeah. Let me just go back to Pixum so I can grab some pictures. Grab some pics. Yeah, this one was a good one. I'm just going to put them onto my desktop. I need some variation in my colors. Oh, there's a nice orange one. Save image. Okay. Let's see. Orange. I think I had blue, greens. Is there like a purpley something? Pink, orange, and blue. Yeah, these are some strong colors. Let's do that. Red. Cool. Yeah, so there's 4 pictures. This is enough for me to test with. Okay. Cool. So right now I'm just going to see if I do that, right? Like that happens. Right now there's no callback. So if I just did con change console.log, then we can see that happening. Let's see. Where is it? Where is our friend? Palette. Bang, bang, bang. So now that event is happening when we add a color. Just for now, I'm going to force it to always show. That way I don't have to like click things to make it show. I'm just going to make it always show. True. As a pro tip, when you're doing prototyping things or like trying to build something really quickly, not for production purposes, but to either experiment or prototype or something, set yourself up for success, right? Disable things or like force modals to open or whatever so that you can get to the thing you're trying to build a little bit faster. In this case, we have that. Another good technique that you can leverage as well is to use something like Storybook so that you just have the isolated component, you're building it, and then it's fine. Eventually, I probably will create a storybook just to do that for this project. But again, this is the second afternoon I'm working on this guy. So yeah. Okay, so now we have that. That's working. It's always showing for the sake of coding and debugging. Oh man, I forgot how to work with files. Const handle on change. We have the event. What do I do with the event? JavaScript file data something. JavaScript file image data, maybe blob, make a blob or something. Files 0, image, files target. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so I guess I need the first file. Const file is this event target dot file. So now I have my file. Const image URL is URL dot create object URL. What the heck? File. I don't know. Const image is new image. And then you, oh, I get it. And then you image on load, which is a callback. It gives you a function, which gives you the image event, I believe. Okay. And then the last step is you force the SRC, the source, to be your image URL. I believe that's what it's doing. This to SRC. Yeah. So SRC? No, I don't know. Target.src. Let's try that. Let's try that. So right now, nothing is that. But if I add a picture, now we get this blob. Okay. So now we have the SRC. And now with this guy, we can probably do our color thiefing thing. Color thief is a new color thief instance, and now that you get the target. Oh, you don't get the SRC, you get the target. Okay. And then you have 10, and then now you update things. Okay. Sounds right to me. Okay. Let's try it. Bang, bang. There we go. Oh, yeah. Color palette from picture. That's fun. Sorry. This is actually really cool. I mean, realistically, you probably wouldn't, your palette wouldn't look like this necessarily, just because all of these are like basically the same color. But it's cool. I think what I'd mentioned, I think what would be cool is if you were to, if the experience was something like, oh, would you like us to generate a color palette from you from a picture? And you hit yes. And then modal comes up or something. You drag your picture into the modal. Processing happens, math happens, and then you see like the picture, but then also all the color palette things on the bottom, like little squares. And then you pick and choose which of the squares you want. And then when you hit OK, then it gets added into here. That way, maybe instead of all of these guys, you just get orange, blue, purple, and blue, green, whatever that is. The other cool thing that could happen is if the slugs are of the colors themselves, like the color names. So I've done something in the past where we have a collection of colors that are predefined, like yellow is some hex code or something like that, and you can get that from HTML color names, right? So let's say these are the color names. We have all these guys. So what we can do is, once we have the hex code for this, which is what we have here, we can try to find the closest color to this from all of the HTML name colors. And then we'll use that color name to be that slug. That way your slugs won't be like palette 0, palette 1, and so on. They'll be like orange, blue, dark red, or whatever the case may be. That feels a little bit more magical, I think. Yeah, this is fun. So just for the sake of additional fun here, I am going to try something. This is going to look terrible, but I'm going to try it. I am going to hook up my magical color thing to the iFrame preview. So maybe for the text, we'll use palette 1, and for the background, we'll use palette 0. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so where is live preview? Live preview is here. the prop is that. So now I have my color palette, right? Console log color palette. I should see an array. I don't, because there's no color palette. Yeah, that makes sense. So now once I do that, I should see, wow, cool. So the frame is data bound to my color palette here. So I just need to pluck out first and second. Const, does this work? First color, primary color, secondary color. Does that work? That'd be cool if it did. Because it's an empty array. I don't know if can you pluck out things from an empty array? Oh, you can. It's undefined though, but that's fine. Okay, so now I can do body color, background color. Want that to be the secondary color, and the text to be primary color. Okay. Right now, yeah, I think the code is actually like undefined. It's undefined. That or initial, I think. Initial is like the default value, probably. So there we go. Okay. So right now, nothing happens. But as soon as I pick this, nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Maybe it's because the background is defined by something else. Oh, it's an object. Oh man, that makes sense. Color. There we go. Bang. Come on. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I'm able to code something without even looking at the browser and it works and it's like magical. Well, hang on. We have some colors here. Why didn't it apply? Yeah, where is your background color coming from? Seriously. What? Is it set on the HTML? If it is, it shouldn't really matter. Body. Background is that and text. Well, yeah, that makes sense. It's not text, it's color. But frame root, frame content, style, body, blah, 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 div. Yeah, how is this yellow? Well, if I change this to red, so that's happening. Where is that being used? Color, foreground, something. Huh. How how is the body getting the background color? I have absolutely no idea how. Oh, here it is. Oh, right. Style matters. Order matters. So now this one's overriding that one. Okay. Yeah. So the problem before was the 2020 styles were loading after my custom styles. And when you do that, then I think order breaks things and matters. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. That's fun. That's actually pretty cool. We're gonna have another picture here, and then that changes. Oh, the feels. Oh man. Yeah, that's so fun. I'm gonna change since we have some HRs in here. How's that getting its color? Color is that the red? Ah, okay. So the separators, I am going to make them separator color. I'm gonna make it that. Color is separator color. if you've stuck with me for for the duration of this video up until the fun part where I actually got some fun color things working, I am very, very grateful. Thank you. Oh, interesting. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's mad right now because so this should be yellow. The reason why it's not yellow is because uh it's rendering as initial, which overrides the other thing. So oh man, do I really gotta write it like this? I have to write the body style only if I have the color. If I don't, then it doesn't work. I kind of want to try to avoid that if I can. Oh, there are multiple ways of doing this. I'll briefly go into it. So I can set up some sort of way for it's like to eventually like an array or something, and then we'll add styles to it as it computes through like whether this exists or not, and then eventually we'll smoosh that into a string and then we'll use it. That's one way. The other way is we can work directly with the style sheet, the CSS object model within here. So it'd be document.stylesheets. So all these guys. These are my CSS style sheets. So I can work with this and manually inject CSS rules in like a low level way. Kind of don't want to do that. Oh, I know. I have a wacky idea. What if I just did this? This is very manual, by the way, but we'll do it anyway. Const background styles. Thinking for a moment. I could use G2's method of injecting styles. I could. Nah, this is fine. Background styles is this. And then I have, hang on, body background styles, body text styles. By the way, when I like code this for realsies, right? Like I'm not all this stuff is just quick prototyping, let's design in the browser kind of hack things together. Like I could not in good conscience ship something like this as production code. For my little Gutenberg JSON tool thing renderer guy, that's fine, right? But like I wouldn't do this for the real deal stuff because this is just way too nonsensical. Okay, so const HR styles. Okay, so I have those, and I only want to render the style tags when those properties exist. So if I have primary color, and this is a very quick way to do it. Okay, create blah, 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 and then I'll have my blah, blah, blah in there. Oh, this is secondary color. So I have that. Oops, primary color, my text. And then the last one is separator color, HR styles. So now in theory, yeah, Gutenberg styles are, 2020 styles are there, the yellow. But the moment we have, say, palette like that, I'm just going to randomly generate colors. Yeah. This is fun, so we can do that. I mean, ideally, this would actually only work if you had the slug as like the background color for the theme JSON, whatever that is. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Some WP something background something primary. I don't know. But this is just quick testies for testing things out purposes. Yes, that works. I'm gonna change it to mountains. Yeah, that works. Change it to jellyfish. Yeah, that works. And last but not least, strawberries. Yeah. I wonder if it can't be a coincidence that the contrast between palette 1 and palette 0 are strong enough so that, you know, that we can read the text in this kind of way. I'm curious as to how the color thief is ordering these colors so that they're kind of spread apart. Maybe they're not doing something fancy because we have like lots of blues back to back. It's just the contrast between these two are so high. Anywho, it's not important. Let's see. I want to change something else in here. This guy. Let's see. It's HR. There is a before or something. Current color that's absorbing it correctly. There is something that's not working right. Oh, background color transparent is important. What? What does that even mean? Current color calc to some current color something. What? Now that works. For some reason, it wasn't working before. Something in here, I think it has to do with like a CSS thing where I think it's unable to regenerate these colors for some reason. I don't know why. Because if I disable that and re-enable that, we can see that the background color is fine. Probably, maybe something in combination of linear gradient, current color, and the fact that the current color snapped, like it changed immediately to something else. There are there's a little poll quote here with the red ticks. I want to see if I can change that color. How's that made? Color primary. Oh, I see. Let's make that the text color for now. Text color. Oops. I need this. Oh, come on. There we go. Color is that. This is awful. My code is awful. Sometimes you need to write awful code. Bang. Yeah. Yeah. It actually kind of looks like 2021 a little bit. But boy, I gotta tell you, this experience is quite nice. That broke. What does that even mean? Overload resolution something. I don't know. So let's see. Let me just try dragging a picture. Yeah, that works. Bang. That is so fun, I gotta say. Oh, that contrast is terrible. Yeah, so I think having some sort of intermediary after I've dragged it into here, then I will do some manual picking thing. That'd be cool. But for now, yeah. Sorry, I keep playing with this thing. I think that'll wrap it. That's good. That'll wrap up this little session here where 90% of this call I kind of struggled. But in the end, we were able to kind of get a live preview that is able to, in a very hacky way, absorb configurations from our theme JSON creator thing on the left-hand side. We're able to have both a preview and the JSON all rigged up. And we were able to also render 2020 styles within this preview area. that doesn't leak anywhere else. The styles are contained. How we contained it is we used an iFrame, which involves some kind of trickery so that we can render content and styles and all that stuff within the iFrame within our React application. So there's that. And then lastly, we added, just for demonstration purposes, we added a binding for core paragraph font size so that we can adjust the content within the live preview area. PX, so like so. And lastly, we added some magical palette generator thing after you drag and drop an image into the palette area. So now it's able to abstract away 10 colors, but it's using the first, second, and third colors for content within our live preview area. And this is all live if I remove it, and then it changes and so on. So let's just plop in our little jellyfish friend here. Now we get nice blue and orange. And yeah, thank you so much for your time today. And this was a long call, so I totally don't blame you if you've dropped off, or if you've watched this in 2x time, or if you've skipped through most of the video just to get to the fun, juicy parts at the end where all of this roughly came together in a very hacky kind of way. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today. This was Q, and I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. Catch you later. Bye. No, wait, I have to stop sharing my dang it. I have to get used to this thing. Stop sharing my screen. Stop the recording and then close the call. I think I got it. Cool. Catch you later. Bye.